Hi everyone, welcome to week 3, day 2 of the NTX BCI 101 seminar series. It's really exciting to be here again, and we have another 3 amazing speakers that we're going to hear from today. I hope a lot of you have returned from yesterday and of course last week as well. I don't want to do a great deal of introduction for the speakers because I'm sure they've got amazing presentations where they're going to speak about the awesome work they do at their companies. But for any of you that are new to NTX, I just want to quickly run through what NTX is about and what we offer. So as many of you will know, NTX is a non-profit organization that formed in Montreal in Canada, but is spread like wildfire. It's a huge organization now across the world, and it's only getting bigger every day. Just during this seminar, we've gained so many more members, and it seems to be growing every day. And Yannick's struggling to keep up with the numbers of attendees, I think, at this stage. We have 3 pillars of community, education, and innovation. Community events like these ones where we try to bring so many people together. I'm sure a few of you have been at the Neuro Bar, which has been an excellent opportunity to share ideas and just shows how diverse and amazing this community is. Education, if any of you went to the BCI tutorial last week, you'll know there's so much to be learned from this community. And of course, innovation. We're bringing together amazing startups and corporations like some you'll hear from today, as well as academics, to really inspire the next technological breakthroughs. There are a bunch of initiatives from NTX. Please, if you don't already, please join our Slack community because you can hear all about the student clubs. You'll get access to the newsletters and of course the services. Look out for your local chapters as well. The chapters are growing and you might find that there's one just on your doorstep that you weren't even aware about. As I mentioned, it's growing so exponentially. There's 20 chapters worldwide now, 250 meetup events, 15,000 meetup neurohackers is a huge number now. And just recently we've added Russia, NTX Moscow to the roster of local events and organizations who are co-organizing this event and have been doing a great job. So I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot more from the Russian outfit as well. If you're looking for a job or if you're looking to hire people, please check out the NTX job board. There are so many jobs on there. I'm not looking for a job at the moment, but I still keep looking on there every other day just to see the amazing opportunities that there are. The new services setup is, would encourage you to look at that as well. This is the one-stop shop for corporations, for startups and academics. As I said, we're really trying to bring all of these people together and inspire some amazing inventions and technological breakthroughs. I've mentioned it already, but here's the link. Please join the Slack channel. That 4,000 number, I think, is outdated already. I think we've added a few more hundred to that in the recent weeks. Please come along and join the conversation on Twitter as well. You can follow the co-organizers of this event, Neurotech Moscow and London on Twitter, and of course the main Neurotech Twitter handle as well, always posting amazing information, news from the field. We'd like to thank as well our partners in Skulltech, the Center for Neurobiology and Brain Restoration. These guys have been amazing at supporting this event, and as I said, we'll be seeing a lot more from them, I think. Don't forget this as well. Please post your photos of your setup while you're watching BCI 101. Use the hashtag NTXBCI101 and you can win some swag. There are some t-shirts, I'm led to believe, going around. We'd love to see your photos. So that's all from me. As I said, I just wanted to give you a quick run through of NTX. I don't want to take any more time from these speakers. First up, we have Valeria from Neurotrend. I'm really looking forward to hearing her presentation. So Valeria, we can pass over to you. I think you're already showing your video.
Yeah.
I'm sharing my screen, and please introduce yourself.
Yes. Hi, Ward. So now you see my screen, I hope. Hi, everybody. Hi, Ward. My name is Valeria Rayevska, and I'm Global Sales and Development Director at Neurotrend Group, Russia and Singapore now, actually. I'm sorry for my terrible English. I will improve it after this presentation. Anyway, let's start. At the moment, Neurotrend is a conglomerate of neuroscience-based businesses for B2B and B2C clients. Who we are and why we are here. Actually, now we are the biggest marketing company in Russia and CIS countries with side office in Singapore. And now we have more than 70 specialists in neurophysiology, neurobiology, economics, psychology, marketing, mathematics, and programming on our board. We do more than 50 commercial projects per year for our B2B clients and have 4 neuromarketing labs on the client side now. And we use self-developed neuromarketing hardware and software and self-developed algorithms that don't have any analogs in the world. Also, we are a member of international community of neuromarketing in MSBA. Actually, we are a single Russian representative of MSBA in our country. Also, we are a member of ISOMAR organization, and we are a member of Skolkovo Innovation. Actually, we're trying to participate in all neuromarketing associations because it's really help for any marketech or neuromarketing startups in their development. So what we have now, what is our story? I might say that Neurotrend is a fairly young but experienced company. We are almost 10 years old. What we have managed to do during this time. First of all, we have gone from a technology startup, a really small neuromarketing laboratory, to the leader of the neuromarketing in Russia and the former Soviet Union region. Also, Neurotrend became one of the founders of the Russian Neuro Industry Union, Neuronet. It was 5 years ago. And 3 separate neuro-related businesses were born on our board. 2 businesses have gone all the way from idea to commercial success. It's Neurotrend and Neurochat. And another business project, Neurobarometer, is a patent protection stage now. We have started a global expansion 2 years ago, and the first target market for us is Asia, of course. And now we have headquarters in Singapore. I must add that all our products and services are created in cooperation with Moscow educational institutes, like High School of Economics, and have approvals from world famous scientists. But really, we need to understand that all products based on scientific development require translation to human language, I mean language of our clients. So what we have now, what is our structure for now? Actually, we have 3 businesses. It's a business is not startup now. The first one and the biggest one is Neurotrend itself. It's marketing research and communication development with usage of neuromarketing equipment for B2B client. And I must say that it's the most profitable part for us here now. The second one is really new. It's our baby, actually. It's our new business project. And Neurobarometer is created for manufacturing, sales, and installation of own neuromarketing equipment and software. So we set up our neuromarketing hardware and software on the client side for marketing and scientific research needs. And the last one, but not the least one, it's our consumer grade BCI named Neurochat. It's consumer grade BCI that allows to communicate people with the power of their mind. And Neurochat is based off EEG device for people with movement and speech impairments. It also can be used for healthy people with a neurotrainer, but actually I'm responsible for, you can see, these 2 parts for Neurotrend and Neurobarometer, so we will talk about neuromarketing during my presentation. what can I say about markets, about startups, marketing or neuromarketing? Now we can see that the main challenge for this kind of startups is not creating a startup itself, it's developing a product prototype or even getting patents. Actually, the most difficult challenge is monetization for everybody. I mean, building a financially successful product that it's in demand on the market. In other words, you must understand and you have to make sure that clients want to replace their usual equipment for market research or change their usual order of marketing actions to come to you. Now I can say that we did it, and actually we did it twice. So what we have at that moment, we have 6 neuromarketing labs that works according to the Neurotrend standards. 3 we have in Russia and 3 we have in Singapore. I mentioned before that we started our development on Asian market. And we use the following sets of hardware for neuromarketing research. Of course, the simplest kind of equipment is eye tracker to register the gaze monitor. It's EEG, PPG, and HD camera with a face coding program. All commercial and scientific research conducted in our laboratories is based on a simultaneous collection of neurophysiological data from respondents at the time of viewing the content or other contact with subject of research. All equipment works in synchronized mode that is taken simultaneously from 5 and more respondents. And actually, previously, we worked on purchase equipment. For example, we use SMI or eye tracking or Tobii eye tracking. But now, currently, we are re-equipment all laboratories with hardware and software of our own production. So, as I have already mentioned, our laboratories conducted neuromarketing research for B2B clients' needs. Among our clients, we have global companies like Pepsi, Johnson & Johnson, KFC, etc., and major local players. In our laboratories, we test various objects among consumers, like advertisement, moving, digital tools and products, consumer goods, and at the output of our research project, we use more than 25 neurophysiological metrics. The main metrics are memory retention, interest, emotional engagement during watching the video or consuming the product. Actually, we have been conducting neuromarketing research for almost 10 years, and our clients are growing up with us and getting smarter. So now they themselves want to conduct neuromarketing research in their UX laboratories or innovation centers. And in response to their clients, we developed, designed, and launched a unique set of neuromarketing equipments and software. Actually, it's really cheaper than we have in the US or Europe market, but still strong from the science side. And it's our project Neurobarometer, I told you before, and it's youngest business project. And we are at the pre-sale stage now, and we are currently receiving a patent for invention. So now any company interested in neuromarketing data can order a research project from us or just host a set of equipment and use it for their own purposes. And the main interesting part, who we are, what is our team? In all areas of our business, we look for people with dual skills, and actually these skill sets is really different in all our areas. For example, for Neurotrend, where we do marketing, neuromarketing research, and some provide some services for business, we're looking for people with neurophysiology education in signal processing and implementation. Also here, it's good to have some skills in marketing research, marketing, economics, economic modeling because we work with really huge companies, and we need to understand their marketing tasks. We need to know what kind of business or marketing decision they will take after our research. And here, nice to have psychology and strong soft skills on the backside. For Neurobarometer, our equipment and software production, we are looking for people with neurophysiology, but in creation and adaptation of processing algorithms. Here also welcome for people with skills with mathematical modeling, programming, and engineering of hardware and our hardware part. And here nice to have really any other tech-related knowledge. For NeuroChat, our consumer BCI, actually the main skill for us now is medicine. We are looking for people with medicine education, medicine knowledge, biology or neurophysiology knowledge, programming and engineering in hardware part. And here actually nice to have also psychology and working experience in patronage services, because we worked with doctors, with patients, and here the medicine go first. And actually, it's my last slide. I tried to collect some success points for any neuromarketing, neuroscience, and marketing startups. And I still think that the first one is demand, because created BCI or neuro-based products will be successful in commercial markets only if they cover specific needs of B2B or B2C clients. Now, of course, you can get money from government or from accelerator in the first step of your business. But after that, you need to know for what you're producing your service, for what you're producing your BCI product. But however, it does not mean that scientific developments are set aside in relation to soft skills. Because simple for understanding, usable neuro products or services based on time-consuming, complex scientific studies and a really large number of tests. And of course, in heart of successful business, any successful business, not only neuro or marketing startup, is well-balanced team. Neuromarketing, neurotech, neuroscience industries are currently in a stage of active growth and constant search for bright minds. So guys, join us, we lead the future and we have a job for you. Actually, that's all in my presentation. I'm sorry for my terrible English, really. I learned the presentation. And I will be ready to answer your questions after all speakers.
Thank you so much, Valeria. That was really fascinating. And also your English is brilliant. Please don't apologize for that.
It was 3 days I tried to
it's very interesting, actually. Just yesterday, we were talking about the kind of real applications of BCI, and it's interesting to see this work going on that to be honest, I wasn't aware of, familiar with. So it's very cool. As Valeria says, we are collecting questions for the end of the event after all the speakers have finished talking. So please add your questions to the Q&A window on Zoom or in the chat if you're watching on YouTube, and we'll do the best to get the questions out to all the speakers. Thank you so much. So our next speaker is Chris McKelly from Cognition. Chris, if you are there.
Hi, yes, I'm sharing my screen.
Yes, please, you can share your screen. And if you could turn your video on as well, that would be brilliant. Wonderful, thank you so much. I'll disappear.
Okay, hi everybody. So I'm Chris Michele, I present for Cognition today, and I wanted to introduce the company, but also the mission of the company, which is to assist people that cannot speak. So generally...
Sorry to interrupt. We can actually see your notes on the slides.
Oh, yes. Let me... Let me do one thing.
Okay, no worries.
Is it my presentation?
We can, but it's quite small.
All right. Some technical adjustment here and there. Okay.
I'm told by the elves of Neurotech that in settings there you can turn off the presenter view.
Let me try that. It was working before, just give me a sec.
Chris, if you'd like, we can bring in the next speaker if they're ready and change the order slightly.
Yeah, that would be fine for me.
Would that work for you as well, Tatiana?
Yeah, it's fine.
Perfect. If you wouldn't mind sharing your screen then, Tatiana, and your video, and we'll come back to Chris at the after you. Wonderful.
Okay. Okay. All right. So I can share my screen, right? Do you see my screen?
Yeah, that's brilliant. Thank you.
Great. Hi, everyone. My name is Tatiana, and I'm Chief Commercial Officer at Impulsionary. And today I'm going to tell you some path how we get to the point where we are right now, some insights and pivot, what we did, the experiments, what we made, the BCI application, what we have right now, and how we achieved the product market fit, some difficulties which we faced through our past, and our vision, what's going to be next, and some few tips for beginners. So let's start. Impulsionary, it's a member of group of companies KB12. Our group of companies was founded 11 years ago, and Impulsionary was founded 3 years ago. We started our development. And in September 2019, we made our first prototype. It was a virtual reality game based on P300, and it works with a medical EEG, and it has perfect algorithms. By perfect algorithms, I mean that it doesn't need any calibration, and we saw the go-to-market strategy, and our go-to-market strategy was to use our technology with the virtual reality attractions. So we decided to go to the roadshow, and we went to China, and we visited a lot of cities and companies and potential partners, and everything was great. But our partners said to us, like, hey guys, entertainment is amazing, but we think that you can use your technology in a much more efficient way. So we made a Pivot Plus. What I mean by Pivot Plus, that we came to the roadshow with only one application, and we finished our roadshow with our new direction of business, how to use our technology. We call it our 4E. As I said before, the technology is just a basis, and you need to find your product. And for now, it's for us. E1, it's entertainment. So we are still developing the virtual reality games, which controlled by BCI. The second one, it's enterprise. Enterprise, it's a very wide application. For example, we are negotiating right now with one of the biggest automotive company to use our BCI for controlling the HMI windshield of the car, of the new generation of the car. And E3, I highlighted as a yellow because we decided to focus on this direction right now, and I will explain you about this product on the next slides. So E3, it's virtual reality games for kids and adults to boost their cognitive abilities. And E4, we call it e-hacking, because we really believe that we can, in the nearest future, we can create the BCI for daily use. So what is the E3? We know before that P300 could boost the cognitive abilities, but we need to prove it. So we made the experiment based on P300, and we prove. We made the article, and now it's on publishing. It will be published very soon. And we will do the huge new experiment on August 2020 with the 200 participants. But the experiment what we made leads us to the product which really works. So what is the product is? Impulsionary Edutainment, for now, it's high-tech games for kids and adults to develop cognitive abilities in the most efficient way with the brain-computer interface. How does it implement? Can you imagine you have a school and you have a class 45 minutes, for example, English or any foreign language. For the first 35 minutes, teacher explained the material which they need to explain, and on the last 10 minutes, kids are wearing the virtual reality helmet with our BCI, and they are trained the material what they just learned, and they're choosing the right answer on the test by the concentration level. So we found our target audience. For now, it's private schools, specialized schools, public schools. We know which problem we're solving. We improve the simulation of school programs, and expected result you can see on the screen also. So implementation, as I said before, it's a 10-minute games after 35-minute lesson. Kids needs to wear it 2 times, to use it 2 times in a week. And in 2 months after they start to use it, we can see the first result. We also, for now, usually have 2 control groups to compare the results. The perfect age in schools, it's 12 and 13 years. And the subject you can see on the screen. Also on the screen, you can see the application, the mobile app, when you can see the progress of your improving the cognitive skills. So how we achieve the product market fit? We started about in January, I think in the end of January this year with the Russian Federation, and already we have a pilot project. We are doing it right now with the most famous schools. Then we went to China, and we already have the 3 local partners in education sphere, which help us to make sales. And unfortunately, we started United States a little bit later. So we are on the customer development in progress because the coronavirus. And the few insights which we get through our path, trends change very quickly. We have a very funny story, but unfortunately I don't have enough time to say it deeply, but it was like something what is really needed 5 months ago, maybe not needed right now in the market, or market can be super full already. Pilot projects, unfortunately, are usually free. Partners do not want to participate in product developments, which means in some countries, if you want to sell abroad from your country, for example, in China is the best example, you need to find a local partner. And even if you find a local partner and they can help you with sales, they're not ready to be involved in development. They need the product which they can sell. And everybody needs successful implementation cases. Everyone, I mean customers. So difficulties which we face too. Nobody knows BCI. By nobody, I mean also customers. When we are coming, when you are developing your product, you're developing not only product, you're developing the technology of BCI. Unwillingness to change habits. It's even if your product are really good, it's really hard to change your consumer habits. People are afraid of BCI. It's my favorite one. Some people think that we will implement something in their brain and we will control them and read their minds. Critical uncertainties. Sometimes we're faced with the critical uncertainties and we really don't know, will we ever solve this problem or not? Sometimes BCI doesn't work, and it's true, 5% of people, with 5% of people, our BCI doesn't work. We don't know why. And sales in COVID, for sure, the COVID changed our plans a little bit. So what's next? What do we see and what we plan to do? In 1 year, we are planning to develop other methods working with the BCI, which will let us to do other application. In 2 5 years, we are planning to do development kit plus API, which will help other developers to do application based on our technology. And in 5 10 years, we really believe to do the BCI for everyday use. So some tips, if there is any people who wants to start doing their BCI project, first, as Valeria mentioned, find your client first. Technology is nothing if there is no practical application for it. Pivot your product, do the customer development with your potential customers as much as you can, and pivot the product according to the customer's needs. Fundraising is not easy, it's true, but the governments of some countries supports the startups like this with the BCI, and we are one of them. Your competitors is not BCI, it's true. Your competitor is a habit of people doing things the old way. The gray team is the half the battle, and I think you know it, and scale gradually. Don't try to scale super fast because you can do something wrong. Do it step by step and try all over again, and everything's gonna be great. So thank you for your presentation so much. We are highly open for new partnership, experts, advisors, employees, enthusiasts. Please add me on the LinkedIn, Facebook, write me on email. We'll be happy to talk to you personally. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tatiana. Really interesting slides, and I think some great tips as well. I'm sure there are loads of people in this community who are looking at starting companies, and having gone through that journey yourself, I'm sure you can share lots of tips.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So our final speaker, Chris. Hello.
Hi, everybody. So let's go with the presentation. Let me share my screen.
Perfect. That's great.
Okay, so I work at Cognition. I've been working at Cognition since October 2018. What do? We do artificial intelligence for accessibility, and we strive to have neurotech embedded in our daily products and daily life. We work in a space of assistive technology. So what does that mean? So the mission is to augment humans with sensors in a multimodal way so that they can interact with the environment with different, capturing different biosignals and telemetries from the body. We have 2 offices. One is the headquarters in Santa Barbara, California, and the other is the R&D, Research and Development, in Toronto. You can see a nice picture of Toronto here on the right. And if you can see my cursor, we are about here. So very near to the lake. So what we try to do is to combine technology with human needs. And this is why we do this. We do technology and human needs combination to achieve a mission that is to unlock speech for people that cannot speak. So we know that worldwide, there are a lot of people with communication disability, and we strive to accelerate and enrich the human communication by fostering also inclusivity of people that normally cannot access the work market, for example, because of communication problems. So this is one of the mission points that we try to achieve for disabled individuals working in the space of assistive technologies. And we cater to different stratifications of the population, both children, adults, and elderly, and they all have some sort of speech impediment. So the story of Cognition starts in 2013 when 2 members of the board were affected in their family by differently by stories of their relatives or their mothers or their spouse not being able to speak anymore. So they strive to achieve a technical solution to have their loved ones to speak again. So that started a company, which is SmartStones, which was a company before Cognition, and the team of Cognition benefits for the expertise that was gathered from the very inception of the first company. So we do this because in the world, there are about 1 billion people with communication impediments. So, and about half of it has some sort of speech impediment. So we want to be able to restore the speech and restore societal communication for those individuals. Because in fact, communication is paramount to the life of human beings and participation to the society. I'm sure everybody or anybody of you can think of a friend or a relative or yourselves for that matter, having some sort of speech impediment. But how do we tackle this challenge? So we came up with an app called SpeakPros Pro Plus, which is a so-called speech generating device in assistive technologies jargon. So the assistive tech is a technology that encompasses a set of communication methods used to supplement or replace speech or writing for people that have some sort of production or comprehension inabilities, either with a spoken language or with a written language. So this is the topic for speech language pathologists. And the app strives to have the work of SLPs easier. What we do also in the app, we integrate an interface which interfaces directly with brain waves, which is called brain-computer interface, which is relative to the topic of today. So how do we do that? We have basically this on the left side, you can see the app that is available on the App Store. And you can see that the app is composed of elements, interactive elements, such as tiles, which can be pressed with different interfaces, either with the eye tracking that you see here with the googly eyes, or with the swipe or tap mechanisms mechanically, or with other interfaces such as BCI. And those tiles produce speech on behalf of the person with impediments. So for example, if I click on this, I can say yes, or if I click on the question, I can say, can you ask me a question? And on the right side, you can see a person that is interacting with the app using their eyesight. And this is important because we looked at here how to augment humans in the way that they cannot interact with the technology normally. So we added functionality on top of the original app by adding, for example, eye tracking in this case. So we did research and development in the areas of eye tracking, but also in general, also in the areas of facial recognition, gesture recognition, proximity sensors, physical movement, and finally, and foremost, brain-computer interface. So I wanted to play an example of a DJ, which is using the interfacing with the eye tracking to do some DJ mixing. So as you can see, you can use both eye tracking, or you can use swipe and tap on an iPad to interact with the app. But you can think about a whole swath of accessible controls or interfaces to access the speech content in the app. For example, in this case, you could use a swipe and tap interface and allow to interface with the app. And finally, with the videos, I wanted to present the augmented reality solution, whereby a professor of Old English that had a double brainstem stroke was able again to present at the university. This is Professor Minelli from University of London, Ontario, and he's giving a lecture about Old English. So you see, the way that we access product development has user needs on the forefront. So we strive to ask customers how they feel about the product. And for us, it's extremely important to take into account user experience. And this falls into the market segment, partly clinical, partly assistive technology. And the journey to understand the customer, it's important to understand the technological features. As in this example, as a counter example, you can think about a situation like this. When you first come up with a product, but it doesn't fit the need of the market. And so you will literally have to cut corners to make the product fit and to try to sell the product and have a position so that you can provide some assistance to your users. Yeah, and in this case, we were able to gain attention of clinical institutions in the United States, like Lincare AAC, that is our partner in terms of providing an FDA-approved protocol via PDSE, and these partners are very important in terms of medical billing and distribution, because the cost of the product can be basically taken out by the medical bill, so it can fall inside the medical scheme. So once the technology is mastered, how do we build a product, which is the topic of today's talk. So what I wanted to stress here is that there is a set of technical business requirements that allow you to go to the market. So this is a bit of a simplistic scheme that we put together about how to go to market, the strategy to do so. And first and foremost, you have to take into account how to distribute your product to the customers. And you can also read the scheme from left to right. The other important point is how they will be able to purchase the product. What are the channels that you're going to be using about purchasing the product? I have to apologize, but I have a fire alarm going on at the moment. So I will rush through the presentation, if that's okay. In fact, I am at the end. So what I wanted to stress is that we put the consumer needs on top of our development pipeline. And the reason to be at Neurotex is also to get in touch with possible partners.
Attention, please. Attention,
I'm sorry about that.
It's no problem, Chris. Is that your last slide?
This is the last slide, and for the sake of not listen to the fire alarm, I'll leave it at this. It
was brilliant. Really interesting presentation again, and I think like some very amazing, powerful, and important work. There's still loads of questions. We've still got time for questions, guys. Please keep sending your questions over to the Q&A window. As we mentioned before, and as we've done in previous seminars, we've been hosting some poll questions. So if I could ask the presenters to turn on their video and mic, we're going to share some poll questions just before we go to the audience questions. And we'd love to hear our Zoom respondents' answers, but we'd also love to hear what you guys have to say. Maybe just a very quick, like 1 or 2 lines on your thoughts on these. So the first poll is, do you think BCI will ever become daily use devices? Tatiana, maybe if you'd like to start.
I will be happy to start. I really believe that one day it's become a daily use device, because from my perspective, if everything gonna work well, better than now, for sure it's not about these days, but if everything work well, it's going to be the best and the most efficient way to interact with the digital surroundings around you. Yeah, it's my opinion.
Yes, thanks. And Valeria, what about you? Do you believe that BCI product will ever become a daily use?
Actually, I strongly believe that BCI products will be daily use devices. And actually, if you Google Neuronet, it's the next step of the internet. So BCI will help us to communicate with each other. And I think that we will have the first model of Neuronet really in 10, 15 years.
Excellent. I have to tell you that the pollsters are actually agreeing with you. If I end the poll and share the results, most people are saying that definitely it's just a matter of time and BCI devices will become daily use. Another poll question, if I can move on. What do you think makes a better BCI? The build, great software and hardware that works, the design, something to have important, it's something to have a product that does something useful, or the flexibility. People want a BCI that can just do lots and lots of things. Chris, if your fire alarm is over, I'd love to get your opinion on this.
Yeah, thank you very much. That's a great question, actually. So it depends on your definition of better. As I was stressing in my presentation, I think customization is very important. So for me, the natural choice would be to choose a BCI that achieves multiple purposes in terms of having multiple interfaces that interact with the user, because you don't need to go invasive if you want to tap into the behavior of the user, and if you want to augment the user with all the wonderful technological means that we have now available.
Tatiana, what about you? From your background, what do you think makes a better BCI?
I think it's two questions to answer the one question. The first, it's for sure it's software and hardware. It has to work perfectly, because we know now that it's not. And second, the BCI need to do a lot of things, and as much things it can do, as more widely it will penetrate the market.
Some very interesting thoughts. I'll have to say the audience is quite split on this one. If I share the results here, it's quite interesting. IPX people come from different backgrounds and have different priorities. And the final question before we move on to our audience questions, would you use a BCI in your day-to-day life? Valeria, maybe if you'd like to weigh in.
Yes, of course. Actually, I use BCI because I work on Neurotrend, neuroscience-based business. So we check NeuroChat or our other equipment day by day. Absolutely, yes.
I feel like we have a biased audience here. What about you, Chris? Would you or do you use a BCI in your daily life?
I pretty much use it every day, but I come from the development side, right? So for me, it's easier. But I envision in the future that ideally non-invasive BCIs will be the norm in terms of, think about achieving a situation in which you interact, instead of going to the computer and having a mouse, you interact with your interface seamlessly, having it on, wearing your interface. So I think BCI is not only tapping into the brain signals, is everything that has to do with your behavior.
Wonderful. I have to say that the audience does agree with you as well. As long as it's non-invasive and they're in control, apparently people are happy to use BCIs in their day-to-day life. So we've got so many questions here. So I'd love to go through as many of them as I can. I am aware that officially we have 5 minutes to the end of the call, but if our panelists wouldn't mind staying for an extra sort of 10 minutes, it'd be wonderful to get through a few of these audience questions. People are very interested by all the talks. So let's have a look here. First question, anonymous for Valeria, asked on Zoom. For all the applications related to neuro, do you guys follow the same hardware kit, or does it depend on the application?
No, of course not. For example, for UX and UI research, we use eye tracking and PPG models. And for video records, like advertisement or a movie, we have all the set of our equipment. We see the purpose of our client. If, after that, we will choose the number of some neuro equipment and maybe some tools from standard market research.
Thank you. I hope that answers the question, the person that asked the question. Please add comments if you'd like to continue the conversation there as well. There's a chat window to keep debating and discussing. Tatiana, Joseph on Zoom is interested in whether you can talk a bit more about the hardware that you guys use. How many channels it is? Do you only use EEG or do you use other sensors as well?
Yeah, thank you for your question. We use EEG for now, but we're planning to use other sensors. For now, it's 7 channels. It's dry electrodes. Yeah, that's it. And it's our development.
It's dry electrodes from Neurotrend, Tatiana.
Not only.
Thank you. And Chris, people obviously interested. Are there opportunities for students to get involved? Someone asks.
Oh, yes, absolutely. The reason to be here today is to have some community engagement. I also posted my my link to the Slack on Neuroethical. So if you message Chris without the H, that's me. So you can send a direct message to me in the Neuroethical channel. Or you can reach out on LinkedIn or chris@cognition.com with the X. So gladly, yes, we can speak about that.
There you go. Reach out on Chris on the NTX Slack channel then. Betsy Valeria, someone is interested in whether you can talk a little bit more about your NeuroChat solution. What type of product is it and what sort of interface does it have?
Yeah, I told during my presentation that BCI NeuroChat is consumer grade BCI for people with movement and speech impairments, but you had a cognition presentation today, so I didn't tell you about NeuroChat. If you want to know more, just Google NeuroChat.ru or .com. And my colleague from NeuroChat, I'm not responsible for this part of business. So my colleague from NeuroChat, of course, will be ready to join this conversation next week or whatever you want.
Lovely, thank you. Tatiana, I really liked the term edutainment. I like this. And someone asks, which I think is a very important question, do the kids like these games? And have you found that it makes a big difference to their cognitive abilities?
Yeah, the kids really like the games, and our main target is to make game really interested to them, because when they're listening the material on their lection at school, sometimes it's really boring, and we are trying to make this material interesting and to make them involved, to put them in the environment when they really can see, can try it out, you know, everything that they just learned. And regarding the cognitive abilities, we boost up to, through our experiment, we boost up to 8 cognitive metrics, and more information you can read on our articles, which will be published like super soon.
You said you've tried this in a few countries. Have you found that there are cultural differences? Are some countries more receptive to the tech and others not? Or?
You know, difficult to say, because, for example, we can compare Russia and China, and this idea came from China. The idea came from one of our partners in China, and in China they're much more, they're implementing it already, the new technologies in education system. In Russia, everybody, the market react really nice, everybody interested about that, and the school, the innovation school, they're interested about our project. I cannot say, to be honest, I cannot say about US, because we started super late when the COVID already started, so I can tell only about China and Russia.
Thank you. Chris, I guess quite a general question here from Zoom. How important do you think BCI is for assistive tech?
So BCI is important for some categories of disabled people. Think about ALS patients. This population cannot move their eyes anymore in the late stage of the disease. So a typical use of brain-computer interfaces is to allow them to select a monitor item with their brainwaves by gazing at them, either with overt or covert attention, visual attention. But it's important also for the elderly. In a case you want to think about an interface for stroke patients, for example, whereby stroke patients have aphasia, for example, or cannot comprehend speech anymore. So you allow them, you augment them because they have nothing to go by, and then you allow them to go from 0 to 1, which is an exponential increase of their communication abilities. So yes, BCI for assistive technologies is very important. I mentioned only 2 use cases of this.
Lovely, thank you. Moving on, Valeria, there's so many questions here. I think we've stopped taking them now to get through before we carry on, but otherwise we're going to go on all night, as these chats often do. Someone, Jonas on Zoom, asks, how is this strong scientifically? What can EEG show so far? That's a direct comment on one of your slides.
Yeah, it's strong scientifically, actually, because EEG using for memory retention and cognitive load metrics. So of course, it's not for nice to have. It's really scientific-based equipment we use. I don't hear you.
That's great, thank you. Sorry, I must stop switching between mute and unmute. Tatiana, another question from Daria on Zoom. What do you think we can do to increase consumers' interest in such innovative products?
You know, I can tell you what we are doing right now. We are trying to participate as much conferences and exhibition as we can. We are published the articles on the internet, and for sure one of the main thing is to work together with the government, and we already do it. For sure it's a long way, and we expected that the result from working with the government will be like in a year or maybe in 2, but yeah, it's what we do right now.
Excellent. I think there's a nice follow-on question here as well from Lawrence, wondering whether the company has considered college students as well as a potential market, as well as children.
Oh yeah, it's a great question. Thank you so much. It is one of our potential market, but you know, the resources is always limited, and we need to be focused on something. And we decided that we're going to be focused right now on the private schools, but some of the universities already asking us about our products, and it's interesting. And if we will find out that the universities are more interested about our product, maybe we will switch to universities. So, but yeah, for sure, it's really great market for us.
It's great. I'll be interested whether they start. I'd like to try it when they do. So a question from Mohit for everybody here. He asks, what neuroethical barriers did you face taking consumer products to market? Apart from data privacy, what are the main challenges for a consumer BCI in relation to ethics? Maybe Chris, if you'd like to start.
Yes, that's a great question, actually. And it's very much on the forefront of what we do every day. I would consider that ethics is related to privacy, like you mentioned also. But there are aspects, for example, of a product that have to do with the subject being comfortable wearing it, for example, like appearance or the perception of the product when a subject goes in public and wears something that is cumbersome, for example. It makes them feel different, which is not generally what they want. So we want to we are very, very sensitive to this customer needs, and then ask the subject, would you wear this, for example, because otherwise it makes them feel different by having some cumbersome equipment on the head. So this has to do with user experience, and is partly related to ethics, so the perception of the product. Privacy and security is extremely important. So data has to be safeguarded, and data has to be anonymized. So as you mentioned already, in terms of privacy, it is an ethics concern to protect the identity of the user, and this is pretty much what we do.
Great, thank you. Tatiana, I'm interested in your answer to this as well. I imagine working with children, you have different neuroethical boundaries to deal with.
Yeah, I will be sure the only one problem which we face to right now is the certification problem. I mean, all the schools who are interested, the director of the schools who are interested to implement our product, all they need the certification, because if the parents will come and ask, are you really sure that our kids will be safe using this device? They will show them the certificate and all the pack of the documents, and everything gonna be fine. So this is the only thing which we face too. And yeah, for sure, this the data security. That's it.
And Valeria, how about you? Any particular ethical problems?
My colleagues, we face these two problems too, but when we communicate with B2B clients, the main the problem is I don't believe in neuroscience, I don't believe in neuromarketing because I don't understand it. And actually, we used to make some qualitative or quantitative research, and why we need to make some innovations, why we need to make some neuromarketing research. And the answer us is neuromarketing is not a religion, and I'm not a priest actually. And we are science-based, and you will not have the data from real feelings of our people, their real emotional engagement, their real attention by standard qualitative and quantitative methods. So the problem that the big companies don't want learn neuromarketing, don't want understand what is it, and trying to use the standard KPI is the main problem for us.
Thank you. Another, I think, interesting point that's just been raised on our chat windows is should these consumer BCI products have more interaction with the likes of the FDA or the other regulatory bodies in the UK or Europe? Obviously, these products may not be classified as medical devices, but we start to blur the line between medical devices and consumer devices.
I can take this. So for certain devices that are not invasive, like in this case, to go to the market is sufficient to be certified, medically certified. And I'm sure my colleagues can speak better than me because we have experts in the company that deal with these aspects. But yeah, certainly this is an avenue that safeguards also the users, because you don't want to go to the market with a non-affordable product. And if the user can have it reimbursed by a clinical scheme or FDA approved scheme in America, or CE approved, or medically approved in Europe and Asia, we certainly strive for that, because we want to have a sustainable solution for the users.
Great, thank you. Just to let you know, there are only 3 more questions left. If you wouldn't mind answering them, we will not keep you here all night, I promise. 2 more for Tatiana. Is there a plan for the 5% who are non-responders or not compatible with the edutainment? What would those kids do while the other kids play the games?
It's a really good question. For now, we have these 5% of people only through our experiments. And we didn't have this, like for kids, as we see, somehow it works better. But if we will face when the 5% of the class cannot use the BCI, for sure we will solve somehow this problem. Or maybe we will switch to another class where 100% of kids can do it the same way with everybody.
Thank you. And one more question for you, Tatiana. Are you or your company worried about getting backlash from the media? We've heard that there have been some companies who have been monitoring children and there was some media backlash for this. Are you planning on doing anything differently?
Yeah, we know about this backlash, and this is the most common question from Chinese partners and Chinese consumers. And what we are doing right now, we are trying to publish as more articles about how useful is it. We are trying to be supported by government. For example, in Russia, we are working together with the government of city and Russian government, and usually when government supports you, the journalists usually are not so bad about that. So we are trying to publish a lot of information about how useful it is.
So your approach is to be sort of much more transparent and be very clear about what you're trying to do. And
yeah,
that's nice. And a final question for Chris. In your multimodal communication interface, how much of the information is derived from EEG to control the device when compared to other modalities like eye tracking? A very technical question to end on.
Yeah, that's a great question that suggests that there is a sort of a measure of interaction with the environment. So if you could quantify such a measure. I would say that the brain-computer interface using scalp waves with the EEG is yet another way of interfacing with the human, with the customer. And this, in terms of information transfer rate, it could be measured on our app in terms of words per minute, right? So but there are many other interfaces. So I'd say that the BCI doesn't preclude other interfaces to promote communication for the individuals. So you can play this game in terms of quantitative numbers, but I don't have a number to quantify how important is the BCI in the communication, but it certainly helps in achieving a better transfer rate of words per minute.
Thank you so much. That is all of our questions from the Q&A window. I'd like to thank the speakers so much, not only for their great presentations, but also for really answering all of those questions. If anyone would like to continue the conversation, of course, the Slack channel is very active. And there is, of course, the Neurobar on Thursday. If I could just share my screen quickly. There we go. Please do stay in touch. Please do engage in the conversation. The Neurobar will be happening tomorrow after the event. Please do come back to tomorrow's event as well. It should be very interesting. Topic of building a BCI career. Some more amazing speakers. I'm sure there'll be lots of questions. I'm sure the conversation will be full. And yeah, we'd love to see you there. Amazingly, this is one of the few events that we've not overrun by about half an hour, 40 minutes. So thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.